Hello, this is Mrs Smith, Head of Computer Science here at Lutterworth College. I'm just going to take you through some tips and guidance for the GCSE Computer Science exams in the summer. Here at Lutterworth we use the exam board OCR. The course structure is 2 1.5 hour exams. These will be a combination of multiple choice, long and short answer questions, as well as some programming thrown in there just to check their ability to program. This PowerPoint then is going to take you through the different revision materials that students have available to them. We'll be looking at the revision guide, the inbuilt school team that we use, past papers, and some guidance for programming practice. You're probably familiar with these, CPG. We use these as a method of revision guide. They're available from the library if you haven't already got one. As you know and probably aware, they provide revision notes for computer science and all your other subjects. And within the theory, there are questions to check knowledge and understanding. These are a really good, simple tool to get students into revision. Also using it as a good method to test when they've been revising a particular topic. Definitions are really important on the GCSE specification. Students really need to know their definitions to get the higher marks. So by using these revision guides, it really will support them in remembering what the definitions are. It might be useful to make them into cue cards, anything along those lines. Podcasts are really good as well if your child doesn't want to sit there with a book or cards to revise from. Just anything where they'll be able to take in the definitions to support them in their learning. Now, this is something that I have developed within the department to support our students. Basically, it uses Teams. Students can access this from RM Unify. They are used to using this in pretty much every single lesson. It is a comprehensive area where they can access all different things like support videos. We have a range of videos on here. We use Craig and Dave resources quite a bit, and they are used to using those videos. They are great for a quick recap. They're 2-3 minutes long, but they go over the key definitions and the key areas of a topic. We also have on there access to external websites where they can gain additional knowledge, or if they want to go back over and just read it in a different view, they can get the knowledge from there. And the main thing that I've put on here as well is the PowerPoints for lessons. So if your child is going through and realise they're missing a topic or they've not got notes on a particular aspect, they can download the PowerPoint and have a look through the theory that they've missed. There is also exemplar exam questions on here as well. So I've broken down some of the past papers into topics, and they'll be able to go on there, download the exam questions related to a particular topic and practice them. With all the teachers here at Lutterworth, if your child is completing some questions at home and they want them checked, then by all means please get in touch with myself or Mr Graham, who also teaches Year 11, about getting and having them marked to check how their progress is going. Right, big one that really makes a difference is past papers. We usually let students have access to these around Christmas time, just to make sure that they have got the knowledge. We are going to be getting onto them pretty soon. As I say, we have covered the majority of the theory, so we're in a position where we can work on the revision. The past papers are all split into different types of questions. We do not have setting in GCSE Computer Science, so the paper has to be able to cater from students all the way from grade 1 to grade 9. So difficulty and challenge will be throughout, and it will be differentiated accordingly. So we have multiple choice questions, we have some different short answer questions. By that I mean anything where it might be work out an answer such as binary representation, or it could be an explain or describe question. When we're dealing with short answer, explain and describe, look at the number of marks that are being awarded for the question. If it's a 4 marker, but they're asking for 2 items, then it's obvious that they need to be able to describe the item in order to get the extra marks. If it's just a state question, then basically you can just bullet point your answers and put, so if it was state 4 things, then you would state 4 items and you'd be awarded the marks. There would be no need to write a lot for that. So it really is question on the term that's being used. The one that's a bit more tricky that our students find are the questions which are around the 6 markers. Now, these work differently to the other exam questions in the fact that they are awarded marks in bands, and the marks are awarded for the quality of the written communication. So this means, for instance, that if you had a 6 marker and you just listed 6 items, you are not necessarily going to get more than 2 marks for that, because they need to cover 3 key areas, which I'm just going to go through with you now. When we have a written communication question, it needs to cover 3 different areas: AO1, AO2 and AO3. AO1 is our knowledge and understanding. So how much knowledge do you have on a particular topic? Can you put in your definitions? Can you state what it is? It is having that ability to pull it out from your definitions area, and this is why I've said definitions are so important, and put it into the context of the question. The application then is that context and being able to expand on your knowledge and understanding into relationship of what the question is actually asking. And then finally, the AO3 is the evaluation. Now, this will vary depending on the type of question. Basically, the AO3 just means summarising and bringing together what the question was about. I've put an example on the screen to give you some of an idea of what we're talking about. So this question is all about about driverless cars being introduced into the UK, and the fact they've been tested on USA roads. There needs to be a discussion on the ethical and legal issues about creating automatic technology such as driverless cars. So the first bit they would need to do to cover the AO1 would be to write down what they know about automatic technology. So this would be sensors, how it would gauge on the road, how it would have the stopping distance. So anything to do with sensors and how automatic technology works. The application is then applying that in relation to this question, which is to do with driverless cars. So it has all got to relate to putting it into a car, what issues that might arise, how safe it would be to put technology into a car, and the consequences of doing such. And then the evaluation is bringing that together. So you've discussed the good points, you'd have discussed some negative points, and then you summarise overall as to how successful and how safe and legal and ethical it would be to introduce them. So it really is a case if they can remember the AO1, AO2 and AO3 and just apply that to every single question that they have where it's written communication, then they will automatically get into the higher band, which is usually around 5 to 6, but at least be in the middle band of a grade 4. Finally then, programming practice. This is an area where it's a bit more challenging. Students used to have an NEA, so they should have done coursework. We have done 20 hours of programming project with them. This is to allow them to be able to develop the skills and understand how to apply programming to situations. Now, it is an area, some students are going to be stronger and some are going to be weaker than others. But what they can do at home, and I strongly recommend this, is that they download the Python program onto their computer from python.org, and then basically access some of the range of tutorials that we have available to them, to give them, and to get them practicing their Python skills again. Now, the good thing about practicing programming is that we can apply it then to the questions that they will see in their exam papers. They would need to be able to write very brief code or decode what a piece of written script is doing. So it's really important that they practice these skills. This covers quite a bit of the Computer Science 2 paper. It's usually the second paper that they sit, and there is a lot of programming elements on it. So in order to access and gain the higher marks in their exams, they should be practicing their Python to deliver those skills. I hope this has given you some insight into what and where you can support them. Some of this is just going to be if you can just support them in spending a bit of time doing their Python programming, just to get them motivated again and into it. We will, of course, do what we can from our end and provide resources. Well, thank you.